Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Invasive Species, the Generation 3 based series where we run Kanto mons in Hoenn and Hoenn mons in Kanto to see which pair is better in the region in which they are not native to. Bagon's run was a ton of fun and real smooth, so how will Dratini stack up? Before we go into detail there, just a quick rundown of the rules. Only Dratini in battle, only held items are allowed in battle, we run on max IVs, have a hidden power of my choosing, we pick the nature and ability if applicable, and all of our Pokemon start with a single egg move. Let's waste no time and get right into what we'll be working with for this run, starting with Dratini's base stats. Dratini's stats are a bit more evenly distributed compared to Bagon, while, like its Hoenn counterpart, maintaining a higher attack than special attack. A decent attack stat should make the early game go by kinda fast, right? Well, hypothetical viewer, allow me to sap the wind from your sails the way mine was when I looked at this level up moveset. This is underwhelming, one could say. I do like Thunder Wave at level 8, and Safeguard will be fun for some Gen 3 loving status cheesing, but starting with Leer and Wrap, it's not the Gen 1 style Wrap either, so it's just a terrible weak move that misses 15% of the time, though I'll tell you right now, it feels like that accuracy is way, way lower. As Lord Dagoth would say, Editor Roz, get this hard dung heap off of the screen before the heart of Lorcan has to revive me again. Time to honor the 6th house and the tribe unmourned with this TM moveset. Now that's what I'm talking about. This is excellent coverage that should, once we learn a proper move in the form of Twister, yeah I just said that, and make progress, carry our Serpentine protagonist to the stars. No Brick Break for Dratini as she doesn't have arms to use that skill, despite that not stopping Wooper from being able to learn Ice Punch. But we have a ton of coverage here that should hardly leave us wanting for a good move. Dratini's egg moves are pretty good too. I was extremely tempted to pick Dragon Breath just to make the beginning go faster, but I think that a slow beginning is worth the time sink if the Pokemon in question is able to make up for lost time in the mid to late stages of the game. I certainly hope that's true for the one we're using today. Because, well, you're seeing it firsthand. Yes, the first rival battle is not only taking us multiple tries, but is extremely difficult. Yeah, not even Dragon Dance is saving us in this fight. Sure, it is possible to lose this fight normally. Say you're on the receiving end of an unlucky crit, but Mudkip is just straight up overpowering Dratini. It's kinda funny. Never before in this run have I thought, boy, I wish I had Tackle. That'll teach me to never underestimate basic starting moves again. But, I mean, at least weakening Zigzagoon and Tailo for HM usage, and the latter to be our Tate and Liza fodder, will go a bit smoother due to the weakness of this move. Ah, man, this is just the worst. If nothing else, you can't say that these runs aren't different, because where else would you have seen a run where the tutorial rival battle is straight up squashing the player? And no, the Reggies do not count because they flat out can't win the fight due to having Explosion. But we do eventually pull through after many tries, and I'm pretty sure I contracted corpus disease in the meantime. This is just the first of many hurdles. As mentioned before, we need a proper move in the form of Twister, and it'll be good enough for this point in the game. 40 base power, we get the same type attack bonus, and it has a chance to cause flinching, and it's special. In fact, all Dragon-type moves before Generation 4 are classified as special, so although Dratini does learn some Dragon moves, and of course, same type attack bonus is great and all, its special attack is lower than its physical attack, so it's a bit nerfed in that regard. Oh well, at least we still have Return, Secret Power, and some other strong physical moves we can get a little bit later on. And yes, even trying to catch a Zigzagoon for pickup and HM purposes proves to be very annoying. I'm not gonna have you guys sit through this nightmare fuel. Trust me, you're gonna see by the time we check in before battling Roxanne how long this took. But we finally have Twister, so we can at least attempt to defeat Roxanne. Yeah, almost 2 hours. Bagon, I think, was just leaving Lavender Town around this time. I'm gonna forego the play-by-play here because the strategy is just spam Twister, hope for flinches, and hope that he misses with Rock Tomb. Considering that we're around the same level, the damage isn't too bad against Geodude. It has very bad special defense. Nosepass, on the other hand, gonna comment here a little bit, because we're gonna go for Thunder Wave. Nosepass is only Rock type. The idea was to go for flinches from Twister, but that's actually not a good idea, because if it's slower, especially paralyzed, Nosepass will just keep spamming Thunder Wave because the AI is programmed to go for it until it's faster than you. So in the many attempts we're going to be undergoing to win this fight, the strategy against Geodude is the same. Go with Twister. Maybe I'll slap on Wrap to keep in some passive damage. Never know when that chip damage can make a difference. And we're definitely going to be using Wrap at least once against Nose Pass, lead off with it, and then go with Twister. When her team is faster, she can waste turns with stuff like Block on Nose Pass, Harden on Nose Pass, or Defense Curl on Geodude. But as you can see, eventually the luck does line up for us. We kinda get what we need, enough to keep going, and I'm alright with that. We're gonna battle some trainers, get some rare candies around the map, including at the Trickmaster's house, and then battle Brawly once we're at level 22 with Dragon Rage. Yeah, you can see by that time there, 2 hours and 45 minutes, yeah, that took quite a while to get. But here's where the run's really gonna pick up, because Dragon Rage is super awesome in the early game. I mean, Brawly's gonna be super easy with this move. It deals a set 40 damage, and for the early game, that's huge. Very few Pokemon have 40 or more hit points. Brawly's Pokemon, of course, have more. They both have pretty good hit points. The most damage we take is a 4-hit arm thrust from Makuhita, and it's pitiful. Now, because we battled every possible trainer before Brawly to make that fight super clean, we do have a fair bit of Poké Dollars on us, so we can also buy Flamethrower from the Game Corner and use that against Watson. But how is the Cycling Road rival battle gonna go? This is usually a pretty hard one, although it was pretty hilarious in Grimer's run. She leads off with Shroom. She'll go for Dragon Rage, deal most of its health and damage. Cherry Berry cures Stun Spore, Twister puts it down. Ah, Numel before Marshtomp, interesting choice. Irrelevant though. Marshtomp, of course, is going to be a 2-shot. Mudshot does good damage, so she switches to Water Gun, like any smart trainer would do. Now, in preparation for Watson, of course, we're going to slap on a Cherry Berry, but what makes this fight a bit more manageable is that Shed Skin, Dratini's ability, is really awesome, really throughout the entire run, because anything that can afflict us with status, we have a 1 in 3 chance to cure it on that same turn, and every subsequent turn. Now, in our first battle, you're going to see that I reset real quick here. I'm just testing out Twister's damage against Magnemite because Gen 3, Steel does resist Dragon. God, Steel is so awesome as a defensive type. It's funny how that hasn't changed, but back then, resisted Dark and Dragon. Yeah, it was pretty much an unstoppable juggernaut. The second attempt was a fail, as you saw. And I decided to forego Flamethrower. Turns out we didn't have enough money, so Dragon Rage is going to have to do, and it's perfectly fine for this fight. Voltorb goes for Self-Destruct right away, which is actually quite good. We go for Dragon Rage, Sonic Boom, always does 20 damage. Follow up Dragon Rage, takes out the Magneton. Yeah, Watson wasn't that bad this time around. I figure if I really want to get Flamethrower, I can just come back and get it when I have enough money for it. No sense in grinding, we are lagging way behind as is. I could just imagine Bagon popping his little head and just laughing, be like, ha ha, I can fly. Dratini's like, what? No, you can't. You can't fly. You don't got wings. And then Bagon just slumps his shoulders, walks away crying because, like, Dratini just broke his heart, man. Well, that's okay. Dratini actually has quite a bit of trouble with the first Maxi battle. We're gonna need some good old Dragon Dances to help boost our attack to get through this fight, but Mightyena is pretty annoying because, of course, it has Intimidate, so we have to set up an extra one anyway, and it has Sand Attack. But Mightyena almost defeated us in single combat. That's not a good sign. Case in point in this attempt here, although we bring Golbat down low, we miss too many times and get taken out, so that's a reset. In this attempt here, we're going to lead off with Thunder Wave and hope to paralyze Mightyena, set up a couple of Dragon Dances, take a couple of Sand Attacks, but it does right here lose its turn. I figure we're going to be missing anyway, so might as well just go all in with those Dragon Dances. Very glad that it missed with Roar too, because that would have been a reset. I forgot that Mightyena had Roar. As Golbat comes out, we don't miss. We do miss Camera Up and get punished by Magnitude 7. But Maxie decides to go for Tackle rather than finish us off, so we capitalize on it. Next up is Flannery, and we're going to go for Dragon Dance right away. Turn 1, Slugma goes for Light Scream, and then Smog, we get Poison, but again, we have Shed Skin, so not worried about that too much. As Slugma 2 comes out, we set up another one, get hit by Flamethrower, Light Screen drops, so it puts Light Screen back up. Sunny Days up, we're at full power, one-shot Slugma. What about Torkoal, though? We go for Secret Power. Oh, it's not a one-shot, but it misses with Overheat. 10% chance of that. Yeah, Flannery's gonna heal, but it doesn't matter now. Yes, Flannery, I would like 1 order of Dunyan Rings, extra large. Thank you. We're gonna head on over to the normal gym back at Petalburg and battle Norman. We need to beat Norman to be able to use Surf as a field move, and it'd be cool to have a 5th badge, wouldn't it? Now, we're gonna be at level 34 going into this fight, and that's relevant because we only have a 6-level lead on Slacking, meaning that it's faster than us, well, until we set up Dragon Dance. We have a Chesto Berry to deal with Yawn, meaning we can set up more Dragon Dances here. Or so I thought. Slacking decides to go in with Facade and deals about 3/4 of our health. Ooh, that secret power damage is, not that great. Can you imagine if we didn't have Dragon Dance? I probably should have backtracked over to Full Arbor to get the return TM, but I ain't gonna do that now. That's gonna waste too much time. I don't think this fight's gonna take that many attempts, though, because Slacking really likes going for a yawn. And combine that with Shed Skin after our Chesto Berry has been eaten, we have a 1 in 3 chance to just shake off sleep. It's such a useful ability. I love having access to it for this run. As we get hit by Yawn, we're gonna use Dragon Rage to force Norman to heal. Well, that was the idea. Thanks again, Shed Skin. We don't quite one-shot Vigoroth. Not a big deal. Slash doesn't do too much to us. Norman heals, Dragon Rage Secret Power takes it down. And we win because Slacking 2 loves going for Focus Punch. That did a whole lot of good there. As we make our way on over to Fortree, and we're going to talk over the last required rival fight too, because that's always an easy fight. If you're wondering why I named this Dratini what I named it, well, one of my friends, I've been friends with her for, oh gosh, it's going to be, 2025 is going to make 11 years now, jeez. I almost said 10 because I'm still used to being in 2024. But she and I both grew up with Generation 1. I asked her how she would feel about being name-dropped after one of the dragons. I let her pick. And she picked Dratini over Bagon, so here we go, that's it. This is the same person who wanted me to run yellow as one Wigglytuff, and that was an absolutely brutal Brock fight I had to get by in there. I'm starting to wonder if my friend has ulterior motives here. He just likes to watch me suffer in these runs. But cutting back to the run here, we're going to go ahead and get ready to battle Winona, and check out our time. Playtime is at 4 hours and 47 minutes, that's pretty good. Don't forget, we were at 245 on Brawly, so we're actually really picking up the pace here. Against Swallow, we're going to set up Dragon Dance, a double-edged sword, as it has double team, and it's being pretty aggressive this time with Aerial Ace. The Thunderbolt hits, and she heals with a Hyper Potion, despite double team Secret Power connects and one-shots. Out comes Altaria, almost a one-shot. Dragon Breath paralyzes us, but Shed Skin to the rescue. Out comes Pelipper, easy one-shot with Thunderbolt. As for Skarmory, we deal really good damage, but our health is just too low. We can win this fight if Swallow attacks us less, which also means Swallow is going to have higher evasion and be harder to hit, so, you know, feels like eye for an eye for me. This time Swallow goes down, and we do tank Altaria's Dragon Breath, no paralysis, but because we have the Citrus Berry, we should be good to go, assuming that Skarmory does not critically hit us. Out comes Pelipper, but it just wastes 2 turns with Protect, the second one failing, so down it goes. Out comes Skarmory, Thunderbolt, Sand Attack. Thunderbolt does not miss. Bye-bye Skarmory. That's 6 badges. As we battle May in front of Lily Cove Department, which I'm sure attracts all sorts of customers, battling right in front of your open doors has to be good for business. Let's talk about the upcoming Psychic Gym. Unfortunately, while Dratini can learn Water Pulse, we get that from beating Wallace, so that's not going to do us much good here. Iron Tail would be super effective, but that's locked behind Meteor Falls. To get to where the Iron Tail TM is, we have to have Waterfall as a field move, which we get for beating Wallace. So this fight is really going to suck because we don't have anything good for this team. But we do have Safeguard, and Safeguard could protect us from Lunatone's Hypnosis, although despite that, Solrock could still be just attacking us every turn, so not sure if that's going to be the strat. Well, only one way to find out. Just a reminder that we need a second Pokemon in order to be able to battle these two, and Tailo has Focus Energy, literally will not affect the battle at all. It's just there to soak 1 hit. Well, with Safeguard set up and we get hit by Psychic, so Tailo's actually around for a second turn. We're just going to spam Focus Energy on it again. Safeguard doesn't really amount to too much because after Lunatone set up that Calm Mind, check out the damage that Psychic's going to deal to us here in just a second. Rip Tailo. One of these runs you will survive, I promise. We're not surviving this attempt, though, so might as well test out damage. The damage against Lunatone leaves a little to be desired, not gonna lie. So I decided to try a whole bunch against Tate and Liza, because while there's a lot of trainers for us to grind off of, I mean, we are in the slow level up group, so that's a daunting prospect already. We have a ton of rare candies, but I like to save those for the end game if I can. But what's interesting is that this fight, despite the whole Gen 3 love status thing I love talking about here on this series, it actually doesn't work all that well in this battle. Because even if you happen to get Lunatone locked into Hypnosis while Safeguard is up, Solrock is like, I don't have a status, so if I have a weather move, it's Sunny Day, but I'm not going to be locked into it. So I'm just going to keep bombarding you with Psychic while my idiot partner tries to put you to sleep knowing it's failing. There were some attempts where we actually got KO'd before Tailo, a good sign for our partner Pokemon, and really cements my belief that the little guy will actually survive a run, at least one. We're doing a lot of runs in Invasive Species for this whole series, so there's gotta be one run where that little guy survives. If Talos survives, I will run Swallow at some point. That, of course, would be Swallow and Pokemon Fire Red. I don't have that planned out, but hey, like I said, if Talos survives any invasive species run, we're gonna get another one in Fire Red. I think that would be pretty fun anyway, but I'm a little, I don't know who his parallel would be. It had to be either Fearow or Dodrio. Let me know which parallel you think would be better suited for Swallow, Dodrio or Fearow. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about the fight here. Yeah, I'm losing a lot here. It's around this time where I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna grind. I might even drop some rare candies if I absolutely have to. Not all of them. I decided to forego the safeguard strat because, like mentioned before, it just isn't reliable because Solrock can just keep on hitting you, and that's one turn of Dragon Dance we're not using. We need Lunatone to just flat out not attack us, and that's what happens here. We're strong enough to two-shot it. We're also strong enough to two-shot Solrock as long as we don't get crit. We don't here, but oh man, look how close that was. That momentum Dratini was gathering just stopped right here. But can our protagonist pick up the pace once again? Well, Maxie 2's up next. I like to think so. Now, just in case you were in danger of thinking that Safeguard was a dud and not a seriously broken move in Gen 3, watch this. We set up Safeguard against Mightyena. Mightyena goes for Swagger. We get the attack boost, but we don't get Hidden Confusion. Basically, Mightyena, thanks to Safeguard, just casted Swords Dance on us and gave us the fight. Safeguard protects us from Confuse Ray. That's why I said we just won. What's that I hear you say, hypothetical viewer? You want more Gen 3 love status? Alright, Wallace, let's get ready to fight. You send out Love Disc first, always, which is great. We're gonna set up Safeguard. I'm actually surprised that we're faster, and then Love Disc is just gonna keep on going for Sweet Kiss. What's really funny is that Sweet Kiss actually misses twice. Yeah, now she knows how I feel when I get hit by Sand Attack a single time. And we sweep the entire team with all 6 Dragon Dances and return. Next up is Wally. He's feeling a little bit left out, so we're going to set up Safeguard for him, just in case. I think his Roselia has Stun Spore, or, Grass Whistle or something. Oh, fight's already over? Okay. And in case you're listening and not watching, no, we didn't lock him into any status moves. We just overpowered him because Wally is a terrible trainer. His team is actually pretty good. I actually did a run in Pokemon Fire Red in the postgame with Wally's team and moves. You want to check that out. Wally has the markings of a champion. He just gotta pull himself up by him bootstraps because he's like 7 years old. Why doesn't he have a job already? Alright, against City, we set up Safeguard, set up Dragon Dance, and crit Mightyena. Love that start. Return doesn't one-shot Cacturn. We get hit by Faint Attack. He heals. We use Dragon Dance. Return. Bye-bye Cacturn. The Sharpedo is a one-shot. Absol goes down. Shiftry, however, survives, goes for a double team, so we're gonna go and set up another Dragon Dance as he heals, and that's all she wrote. Well, I thought I'd set up Dragon Dance, but hey, nothing like mashing A. That's the best strategy. Anyway, time to play the Curse Lottery with Phoebe rigging the roulette machine. Little does she know we have Safeguard that protects us from Confuse Ray. Alright, Dragon Dance, Shadow Punch, Dragon Dance, Confuse Ray protected. Another Shadow Punch. There's Phoebe being the proverbial pigeon kicking over the chessboard with Curse. Well, might as well test out our damage. And she sends out Dusclops too. It has Ice Beam, no surprise. Whoa, we one-shot it? Alright. Okay, we have a path to victory here. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to spend about 20 minutes trying to get this to work out in our favor. Yeah, Safeguard sadly does not protect us from Curse. Now, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the only way to avoid Curse is if you're underground with Dig or Dive, or if you're in the air with Fly or Bounce. Now, Phoebe's AI is really weird because she does like to prioritize Curse, but because Gen 3 loves going for those status moves, Confuse Ray is also high up on the priority list. You know, this is the second run where I have barely seen her go for Future Sight. That's another move that Gen 3 really loves for some reason. Well, it does ignore type immunity, so I kinda like it in Gen 3 as well. So I think the way to go here is to hold a Person Berry and go for Dragon Dance on turn 1. Boom, Confuse Ray. We're gonna go for Safeguard, and we're protected again. And because we used Dragon Dance early, we have 5 stages to our increased attack now. Unfortunately, not quite enough to one-shot Dusclops here. Not a big deal. Thanks to Phoebe healing and us going for one more Dragon Dance, we can one-shot sweep this entire gym with Hidden Power. Wow, I really just called it a gym. Sweep this entire trainer's team with Hidden Power. It's ground type, by the way. For Glacia, I'm thinking about popping our rare candies, but I want to see how we match up as we are. Now, obviously, we're at a severe disadvantage here, but Glalie #1 does like going for Hail and Light Screen, and lo and behold, the first 2 turns, that's exactly what it does. So with +3 to our attack, we have to go on the offensive after that Ice Beam. Thankfully, no Crit or Freeze. Glalie's a one-shot. How about the first Cilio? Yep, that's a one-shot as well. That means the second Celio, yep, also a one-shot. Alright, we're probably gonna one-shot Glalie. Yeah, we do. Okay, do we one-shot Walrein? That's the million-dollar question. Nope, that's our final lifeline. God, what an old reference. It's 2025, Roz. You gotta get on the trend with current shows. Well, I do like the Fallout live-action show. Anyway, yeah, here's where we're gonna pop our rare candies, and you'll notice, if you watch the Bag-On run especially, Dratini entered the Elite Four at a way lower level. Despite that atrocious beginning, Dratini still has the advantage in the level field. Well, let's just hope that we don't wipe against one of these last trainers and then have Dratini lose its only advantage over Bag-On, because Bag-On was already done with the run by this time. Unfortunately, this time we only get 2 Dragon Dances as Glalie goes for Ice Beam on turn 2. Oh, no, never mind. Citrus Berry, and it goes for Hail? Okay. Cool. But you know what the funny thing is? I think we probably needed those 3 Dragon Dances because I don't know if we'll be able to one-shot Walrein as we are. Yeah, we're a higher level now. But I guess we're going to find out here in a second. And the Hail stops. That's how you know it's dramatic timing. Yeah, we do one-shot. Love to see that. We're not in the clear yet, however. We got to get by Drake before we get to the champion. And gotta say, things start off quite awesome. Dragon Dance, Rock Tomb misses. Love that. We're now permanent +1 speed. And whoa, Dragon Claw from Shelgon did that much. Oh boy. Really dancing with death here. Thankfully, Shelgon keeps going for Rock Tomb. Shelgon's a one-shot. Altaria. Oh, one-shot too. Cool. Flygon is a one-shot. That means the second Flygon will also be a one-shot. Very nice. Alright, there's Intimidate from Salamence. Do we one-shot? Yeah, we do. I'm surprised by that, actually. Pleasantly so. Now, I have to say, I'm pretty confident against the champion. We have Safeguard to protect us from Toxic and Confuse Ray from Kraydilly. Shedskin will help out, too, in case we do get hit by Toxic. We have Hidden Power Ground to deal with the likes of his many Steel types, and just like with Grimer, we're gonna have to battle Skarmo using Return, which, of course, it resists, and it has very high defense. Still, I think that is the best strategy. I'm coming to realize that if we have a good physical attacker that doesn't have a ground move and it's running in Ruby, yeah, give it Hidden Power Ground helps a lot against the champion. Speaking of, round 1, let's go. We're going for Safeguard right away. Good thing, too, there's Toxic on turn 1, and turn 2, and turn 3. Not here, though. Turns out that Steven is smarter than the average Gen 3er, and by Gen 3er, I mean citizen of Hoenn or Kanto. Yeah, he sees through our trick here. Might as well test out our damage. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Probably gonna take a couple of tries to get this right, but I feel pretty confident that we can defeat the champion right here, right now. And we have a very solid level lead over Bag-On, so that's cool at least. Who do you guys prefer, Bag-On or Dratini? Let me know. I'll tell you once this fight's over. I take a chance with Shedskin, immediately pays off their Spikes turn 2. We throw up Safeguard, but he's laying into us pretty hard with Steel Wing. And we gotta attack. After another wee hit, he misses with Steel Wing, 10% chance of that. Wow, Skarmory's a 2-shot. Hagron, of course, is going to be a 1-shot. Next is Claydol, interesting choice, but ultimately fruitless. Metagross is a 1-shot with Hidden Power Ground. I set up Safeguard against Kraydilly, but it goes for Ancient Power right away. But turns out that Kraydilly and Armaldo are both 1-shots with Hidden Power Ground. Man, that was a wild run. What other run have you ever seen where the first rival battle is harder than the Pokemon champion? Probably the first time ever. Definitely my first experience with that. Again, the Regis don't count in Gen 3 because they only know Explosion as their starting move. Despite that extremely terrible beginning, though, Dratini was pretty good, all things considered. Our Serpentine protagonist ends off at level 73. That is over 10 levels lower than Bag-On. But what about the time? Let's check that out as our protagonist is showered with some much-deserved confetti. Go ahead and clock in that time here at 7 hours, 50 minutes, so just under an hour slower. That kind of checks out, considering how bad the beginning was. If Dratini had an actual move for the start, would have been better, clear across the board. But it turns out they're kind of even here. I mean, 750 is the C tier, though on the cusp of D. But level 73, pretty early on in the C tier. So yeah, Dratini, solid C. Ninjask and Fire Red is up next. I'll see you there.